super excited about this. And we have viOLet versus STX. viOLet, of course, now on Team Empire. STX on Team GoSu. But let's do some player intros, Rance. In the purple.
Yes.
Spawning as the Zerg player. Playing for Team Empire, rather, we have
viOLet.
And in the pink, why did they have to pick colors so similar to each other? Playing for Team GoSu, we have
STX.
Pretty good Terran player. Team GoSu actually sends a lot of their players to some of the SoCal local LANs. And so I have met their manager. He is quite a manner fellow. I think he has his cast off his leg now. When I met him, actually, he had a cast on his leg and had so for, a long time. I'm not sure how he broke it, but quite a manner fellow. He's probably in the chat hanging out somewhere, checking it out. And going for the standard opening, this is super standard out of STX. We see barracks and then gas. What is viOLet doing? He's going for that good old 15 hatch. Also standard. And because this is the MOG version of this map, it is cross only. So viOLet's going to have the correct Overlord scouting path. Now, actually, and this is something kind of interesting I just realized. If you put out your barracks one food earlier, I think you would be able to catch this Overlord easily in the middle of the map with your first Marine. And if Zerg went hatch first, there actually isn't anything they can do about that. So I think as the game evolves, we might see Terran players start doing stuff like that, where they get that first Marine out to take out this Overlord a little bit sooner. And that would actually be really huge. I think that's worth cutting the SCV to get your Marine out faster. Because an Overlord that early in the game is like a really big deal against the Zerg opponent.
There we go. Spawning pool about 50% there, and looks like Zerg finally taking a gas.
And this other Overlord, actually, this could get caught super easily. And look at that. Oh.
Yeah, he's coming.
STX, you are so smart sometimes. viOLet knows this. He's like, I got to get out of here. There's a Marine coming for me. And I think he will probably escape in time because he's abusing this this cliff here.
Rocks.
But the second Marine actually on the way, so STX might have this. That Marine is hungry for blood, and it's Overlord blood.
Oh yeah, this Overlord's toast, buddy. 6 Zerglings on the way out, but they're not going to be able to make it out in time. Meanwhile, the SCV from the Terran scouts through the Zerg base as well. So things are looking pretty good for STX right here, as this Overlord looks like it is going to go down.
But the Zerglings out on the map. viOLet's supply blocked. He has to make 2 Overlords now instead of 1. He doesn't want to do that. There's 6 Zerglings, though, out on the map, and that's actually a lot of Zerglings here in the game, so doubly viOLet has been hurt by this. You know, first off, he's been hurt because... Oh, this is a fantastic micro. I just want to watch this for a second here. So, almost taking out 3 Zerglings with his 2 Marines microing. Didn't get a chance to get into a corner like he probably wanted to. And the SCV is still in the base, poking around, seeing what's up. But viOLet, back to what I was saying, viOLet not only had to make 2 Overlords, but he made 6 Zerglings out of that, which is more than you would usually want to make in that situation. Hellions now, out on the map though. Command Center on the way. Standard stuff out of GoSuSTX. Opened up Reactor Hellion. It's now pushing out across the map.
Looks like this spine crawler could pop just in time here, especially with the
You just
distraction of the
killed-
drone.
You just killed the Automaton 2000.
Oh, that's what that was. I see.
How do you kill a hapless robot like that?
He's so happy too.
Yeah.
And there it is, spine crawler popping just in time to deny those Hellions, and they're going to have to wait for some reinforcements to show up. Meanwhile, he's going to push up with that spine. Do you agree with this right here?
I think with the Lings there, it's okay, because the Lings are going to block long enough for that to get in. If you didn't have the Lings, yeah, then, I mean, it's such an easy thing for STX to do, to just run right past that and run on in here and get some drone kills. viOLet is actually making Lings right now, and Roaches, so he is not droning. I was going to comment that his drone count looked a little bit low, but yeah, he is actually making units right now. So I think he is trying to punish what's going on here, and this is actually a fast third orbital, and this is even way, way, way skimpier than what we saw out of Lao in the previous matches, where like Lao actually got out Banshees in one of those games, and then in the other game, like he went for a big, big play with, what's its face, with a lot of like bunkers and like marauders and the whole deal. We actually don't see that at all out of STX. Like he literally just went fast second back to get tanks in siege mode. So he's gonna have siege mode, but Lings are really strong, and if viOLet splits his roaches out a little bit so they don't all get splashed, I think he might just win this. All right. No, looks like he's deciding to turn around. Two siege tanks is too scary. So this actually just might be super clever out of STX. I still think if viOLet made like 2 more rounds of units, he would have been able to get that, but he's gone back to droning. He's making drones and getting his third up.
Hellions just scouting the third there for the Zerg as well, so they know. And here come the roaches. Calling back to the base, and they're going to catch the Hellions. And they go down. Wow, that's going to prompt the Zerg to move back to the middle of the map now that all the Hellions are gone.
Yep. And he's actually getting the +1 carapace, viOLet is, which is so smart. Makes means when siege tanks get +1 attack, they will not be able to one-shot Zerglings.
I like the siege tank placement here, way out front. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous to push out this far with your siege tanks from like things like Ling run-bys, because he really doesn't have a lot of Marines. I'd love to see like a bunker here and a bunker, like 2 bunkers here. I think that would be a really safe position. But right now, yeah, I mean, these siege tanks are super vulnerable. If viOLet made another round of Lings and just went for it, he might just be able to crush that whole army. And that's really dangerous for a Terran to lose 3 tanks that you rushed for. But viOLet is getting lair. He's making some Lings, but he's also making drones at the same time. So he might go for an attack. That might be good. Well, I do love the siege tank. That's pretty good.
Roach is just outside of range of that siege tank though, but with the vision addition there, it looks like it was able to get a little piece, and they pushed away.
The longer viOLet waits to punish this position here, where he really doesn't have a lot of units, the harder it is for him to be able to punish that. I think he's probably might have missed his window at this point to do that.
Oh yeah.
But he's making an infestation pit. You know, he's getting his 1-1. Hive or layer has finished. He's still making drones. So I think viOLet feels pretty good about this game right now.
I think I agree, Glenn. The longer STX goes, man, he's going to get super strong. +1 is about to finish for the Terran. See, Combat Shield just now starting up as well. There's an armory going up. There's starport going up. 3 barracks just finished for the Terran, and the production is about to ramp up here. But
reactors on all of them.
Oh boy, this is going to be a lot of Marines, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge number of Marines.
Oh yeah.
He's got Stim finished already. viOLet not going for Muta, is getting Burrow instead. He had the infestation pit. The scan is going to show. I mean, when you see double Evo like this, usually it means that your opponent is not getting Mutalisks. Instead they're going for the infestors. Pathogen glands getting started up. viOLet probably needs to take another base soon though. His main is looking pretty slim. And that armory, of course, is there so that STX can start the 2-2 as soon as his 1-1 finishes. He's already started the 2 attack. So a big macro game. 24 Lings, though, on the way out for viOLet. Has he hit that magic drone number where he's going to make nothing but units? 76 drones. Yes, he has.
Yep.
It's unit time, guys. This is where things start to get interesting.
And 13 minutes in, looks like viOLet is able to hit about 145 supply there. And by 14 or 15, he's going to be at 200, buddy.
Absolutely. Hive on the way as well. Pretty early Hive. So this is what I would consider more of like a Stefano style, where you go fast Ling upgrades, fast Hive, into Ultralisk usually. Ultra Infestor. So 4th base going down for viOLet. Looks like he's trying to take a 5th too. But we got the move out from STX, and that army is pretty scary. He only has the +0 for his tanks. They're going to be not so effective against the Lings. But that's a lot of Marines. Just taking a look at the unit counting station, it looks like that is 47 Marines to be exact. Those roaches need to run away.
Fourth base started for the Zerg at the, what is that, 3 o'clock or so? 2 or 3? Yeah. And Zerglings are there for a little run by, but look at the Marines pushing up onto the creep now, doing a little spread.
I think that these are here actually to do a flank on this army, which is super smart when you play this style. viOLet actually made a lot more roaches, and I'm a little bit unsure about this decision. I don't really like that too much. He is burrowing them to heal them up again, which is good, of course. But this is a lot of tanks out of STX. So roaches are not going to be super strong.
Ooh, look at that 5th down in the bottom left too. For the Zerg going down.
The other thing I really like about it out of STX right now is well, he needs to keep these units back here with this, but he's sending his units in waves instead of letting stuff trickle in where it's super easy. But oh, hold on, we got to look at this for a second here, Rance.
Ooh, that's gonna make all of these siege tanks splash damage.
And the big run-in at the same time, I don't know though. I think those fungals would have been way better in that situation. viOLet actually just like losing that entire army.
Oh boy!
All those infestors. What does he have now? He doesn't really have anything. And STX is not a player that you can do something like that to and just be fine against it. Like he's really not.
Looks like this 3rd base is gonna be toast here, buddy.
Oh, easily. And he tried the counterattack into that at the same time. It was held off by SCVs and Marine Marauder. And look at this, STX.
He's dug in, man.
3rd. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's sitting on the creep, which is a little bit dangerous, but he's dug in.
There we go, hitting the front with the Zerglings there, and flanking from the rear as well. Could be just enough to get it done. No, not quite.
And look at this out of STX. He finds this base, loads up his Marines, and says, okay. And goes and drops the base. He's not going to let that get up. And at the same time, he's pushing forward onto the creep with, and I love the transition to Marauders because they're still going to do a lot of damage, but they don't die in 2 fungals. Like Marines do.
There we go, Marines being dropped now to form the 4th location. Looks like STX also taking his 4th in the middle of the map. Planetary style, nice.
On the former gold.
And it looks like the bottom left expansion for the Zerg could have been scouted, or it's about to be. And there we go, nice little force down that way, able to deal with that too if he so chooses, but it looks like he's not going to deal with it. Meanwhile though, the 3rd going back up for viOLet.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that STX needs to turn around and push again, because viOLet is on the verge of getting Broodlords, and that's going to become much harder for you know, STX to deal with, because he doesn't really have stuff to deal with Broodlords quite yet. Out. He does have a lot of Marine Marauder, but I like the decision to put Marauders into his composition simply because I think what he did is he saw viOLet's style and said, oh, he's going to go Ultralisks. But viOLet actually opting to get Broodlords instead, 5 of them being morphed, and that kind of puts STX in an awkward position because Marauders, while they're better against fungals than Marines are, they're still, like, they can't kill Brood, they can't even shoot up. So, like, what does that really do against Broodlord armor?
viOLet down to 3 hatcheries, though, and that's a little bit of concern at this point. You see the supplies way out of control here as STX pegging 200 to viOLet's 140 supplies. So
yeah, I mean,
still well behind.
And STX is just going to drop the main, or he's going to elevate her to the main, and that's actually just like, especially with the tank on the middle ground. Oh, it's so gross.
Here come the Zerglings in, and Marines taking the splash, but they decide to pull back. And it looks like this small force here from STX going to push in and try to do a lot of damage here. 5 Broodlords on the map now, and they're going to push forward to deal with this force as well. And that's going to be a problem for the Marines here, as that splash will be a concern from the tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. He just loads everything up, though, and retreats back. And, I mean, he needs to bleed a little bit of supply so that he can... Oh, and the big stim forward into this concave. Wow, huge fungals going down by viOLet. Will it be enough, though? These Broodlords on the high ground not being targeted down by the Marines, just doing tons of damage. More fungals going down. And I think he might lose this whole army right here.
Lots of Marines dying there in that last fungal up there on the north side. And the Broodlords are able to stay up. Nobody's being focused right now. More fungals could go down as the Infestors get closer, but now the Broodlords starting to take good heat. And it looks like STX has to pick up and back off.
I mean, look what happened to the supply counts in that battle. viOLet went from like 140 to 114, and STX went from 200 to 147.
Yeah.
So viOLet basically saying, you know what? Okay, that's fine. You've got a big army. I've got Broodlords and Fungal, and you don't have anything to deal with it.
Well, you know what was interesting about that particular engagement was all of the medevacs were healing the bio units on the south side, but there was a couple of key fungals that took out nearly half the units on the top side that weren't being healed.
I think though these Broodlords are about to die because those ghosts have snipe. They're going to run in here. They're going to snipe everything.
Ooh, but no healing going on the front side here. There's no medevacs to be spoke of. It's going to get a little tight if all of these Broodlords pop. Maybe it will. Fungal's still going down though, and these forces are very depleted. No fungals go down before the Infestors are taken down though.
And the GG out of viOLet.
Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So STX basically showing that the king of the rundown can be taken.